Hey y'all, it's 30th of November, Monday. I just thought I'd do a quick video on euthanizing. I know a lot of people don't talk about it, like it's some kind of taboo thing. If they don't hear it, they don't believe it's true. I've actually had people leave my pages, leave groups, because I would post numbers when I was working at the sheriff's department on how many were euthanized. Not really sure how you can be in rescue and not understand that euthanizing is it's inevitable. If you stay in it long enough, you're going to have to do it. Whether it be for medical, temperament, various reasons. It's usually medical and temperament. As far as rescues go, shelters, they do it for space. Don't know how many follow the page. We did lose one of the puppies 2 days ago. Buried him yesterday. And we had to euthanize one of ours that we had in the rescue due to aggression that we know of, at least since it's been with us. Had 3 bites. All 3 of those bites on Jimmy. He did try to come at me twice, so we decided that I'm not one to push my problems off to another rescue, especially when he's already got confirmed bites. They weren't bad, so to speak, but they were bites. They weren't nips. They weren't, mouthing. They were legitimate bites. So I made that decision to put him down. He seemed to be getting worse. The longer he stayed with us, not really sure why. He had his own food, had his water. He was out of his kennel, for a few hours a day. During the rotation, him and another dog antagonized each other. He was the worst of it. The other dog's not really the issue. That dog never tried to bite anybody. This one did. And did actually, in fact, bite. There was no trying about it. He did wheel around on me a couple times. And after the second time, that's pretty much when the decision was made. Was kind of, for the most part, made before then. Euthanizing is not an easy decision to make. If you're that person in the rescue that makes that call, I don't envy you for that. Unfortunately, I am for ours. When I was at the sheriff's department, I was the one who determined which ones got euthanized. There, unfortunately, was solely due to space. One dog from a bite, one dog that was actually aggressive. Rest of them were all for space. That was over 2.5 years. Sad that I can remember that one was due to an actual bite at the kennels. It was less than a week out from going to rescue in Alabama, I believe. Or I think it was Alabama or Arkansas or something like that. The other one was aggression. And actually, the first one that I put down due to aggression was actually a large male lab. So if you are that one in y'all's group, in your rescue, in your home, that responsibility gets put off to you, shitty. It's a shitty place to be in. I don't like it. The dog was, just due to his demeanor and how it was getting. Sorry, B was on the counter. just due to his demeanor, how he was getting, he was actually getting worse. We weren't going to take that chance anymore, especially with me being gone. Even as much of a butthead as the dog was, it was still quite painful to have to put him down. Thankfully, we have a good vet clinic who is caring. They're compassionate to you and the animal. So they understand. This was due to somebody probably abusing him, or he had just been out that long and had to fight for everything he got up until he met us. So this past weekend hasn't been real great for me. Burying one that died overnight, and then euthanizing one this morning. It's not easy. No matter what the issue is with the dog, whether it's medical or demeanor, temperament, it's still not easy. For me, it's not. I always take it personal. Just wondering, what if? What if we got to him a month earlier? What if we had a different setup here at our house? There's a lot of what ifs. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but I am. It's always a what if. I guess I got that from working overseas for Fluor Daniels. That was one of their big things. What if? What if you do this, and then what's the consequences? So, had to dig a grave yesterday, had to dig one this morning. Euthanizing is a fact of life in rescue. It comes up, it happens. We do the best that we can to avoid it, in hopes that our dogs will pass on the natural way. Most of us prefer in their sleep. Medical reasons could be incurable. Could be too much damage done already that the fix is not guaranteed, or quality of life afterwards, after any surgeries or medications or anything like that. The quality of life may not be any better. I brought dogs in to the pound when I was at the sheriff's department that were exactly like that. Too much internal damage for them to recover. Surgeries weren't really an option. The first one that went to Franklinton to a rescue down there, the damage was just too bad. They decided to euthanize her to not have her suffer. Second one, similar instance. The vet did say that they could do surgery on it, but there was no guarantee on the surgery. The dog would have spent the rest of its life on medications, basically keeping it drugged up. To me, that's not quality life for the dog. Now, if you're talking about asthma or allergies or diabetic, that's kind of a no-brainer. You don't really euthanize a dog over that. The internal damages to that dog were great, and really thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to fix it. And again, that wasn't a guarantee. After the surgery was pain meds every day, the rest of his life. Unfortunately, I was the one that made that call on that one too. We chose to euthanize him to where he wasn't going to have a bad quality life. He wasn't going to have a good one no matter what we did. So euthanizing, I hope whether you like it or not, it happens. It's going to happen. It will happen. It's just a matter of time. If you stay in it long enough, you're going to see it. If you stay in it long enough, you might be the one making that call, yes or no. It's not a good topic for me. I just always try to think of other things that we could have done, should have done, would have done. It's tough. Charlie was the dog. He was good with me for the most part until he started feeling real brave and wheeling around on me. As much of a butt head he was, but that was still hard. I brought him back here to the property, buried him out with the rest of them. So he's still here. And I know most people are like that, no matter what the reason is. To euthanize, especially if it's a temperament thing, you still feel a loss. You still wonder, what if we trained him like this? What if we trained him this way? What if we trained him that way? What if we put him with this trainer? What if we put him with that trainer? Maybe the house wasn't a good situation. We're always, if you're the one that's making that call, and that time comes, you're always second guessing yourself, wondering if you made the right call. It's not easy. We're the ones that got to live with it. It's not easy for me at all, by any means. It's just not something that I look forward to doing, ever, for any reason. Again, our vets are very empathetic, compassionate, and sympathetic. Especially toward me when I got to bring one in. If I had to do one of my personal dogs. If you want to see a soft side of me, come with me on that day. For any injury to a senior or puppy. If you want to see a softer side of me, then that'd be the days to show up. After this morning, didn't do much. Just piddled around on my tractor and pretty much didn't do anything the rest of the day. It kind of ruins my day. So really didn't get much accomplished. So if you're one of the ones that wants to get pissy, I guess, or get your feelings hurt over the topic of euthanasia, you probably shouldn't be dealing with animals. Like I said, it's going to happen. Whether we want it to or not, it's going to happen. Like I said, medical or temperament. Pretty much two reasons why rescues put them down. It's the only two I can think of, even remotely. It's not an easy choice. I'm sure there's probably some vets that don't like doing it. That's their job, unfortunately. I guess for us, it's the bad part of rescue, making that call, and probably for a vet, it's probably the bad part of their profession. Probably for a lot of them. So, if you're one of the ones that is just too sensitive that you can't deal with euthanasia, you probably want to think about a new hobby, career, whatever the case may be. Probably shouldn't be working with animals. So, it's a fact. It's a fact of life. Not one that most of us like. The ones that make the call have to live with it. Nobody else. They can say what they want to. If you're not the one making the call, it's different. It's just different. You're being that person that is making that call to end a life to an animal for whatever reason. It's tough. It doesn't get easier. As a friend of mine told me that this morning, which I knew, but it's just one of those things. So if you're squeamish about it, you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong line of work. If you aren't willing to be by the dog's side, no matter what the situation is, even temperament, while it's being done, then you probably need to look for a new line of work. Even as bad as Charlie was getting, I was still there. I wouldn't have left him anyway. And he was still brought back home to be buried here. I'm probably going to have to find a higher patch of ground. With all the rain we've got, it's been quite muddy, wet. So I just want to talk about that. It's a reality. It's going to happen, whether you want it to or not. Don't judge anybody for making that decision, for having to make that decision. It's not an easy one. It took me 3 days to actually do it, and it probably helped that it started on a Friday night. So I had Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday to think about it. It was pretty much definite anyway, so now I've got the situation was prolonged. He was still in our house. We still let him out. I just watched him closely. When he started acting up and getting stupid, then I put him back in his kennel. So that was a tough weekend. Having to look at him for 2 days and this morning, knowing what I was fixing to do. It's going to happen. Hopefully you will never have to be the one to make that call. If you've never had to make that call, don't judge others that have to. Somebody's got to within your organization at some point or another. Maybe several people, who knows. I know ours, it's me, unfortunately. I know lots of people can't make that decision. I've told others that have called me for advice on what they should do. Sometimes I've told them that it's the best option. Don't think we should be euthanizing for space, not ever. I think that's a piss poor excuse. I think that's piss poor management on the municipalities that run them. Whether it be sheriff's departments, police juries. Usually I believe it's police juries. Sheriff's departments usually just lend a hand with citations and whatnot. If you want to change the euthanizing in your shelters, especially locally, start hammering your police juries. Probably 9 times out of 10 they're the ones making that a possibility, just because they're not going to put out the money to give you adequate shelter to run your parishes. That's where it's got to start. Probably the next place that needs to start, actually the first place that needs to start is education. Then getting with your police juries to get adequate shelters to be able to take care of a parish according to size. So, it all boils back to education. Education and mindset. The mindset in the state of Louisiana for animals is shit. Pardon my French, but it is. It's not the laws, it's the mindset. We have the laws on the books. Fortunately, we have groups of people that basically just don't care. Used to be they just shoot dogs or pick them up, take them across to the next parish and drop them off. It's mindset. It's mindset. There's no way an animal, I don't care what kind of animal it is, should be considered property. Getting a little off track. That's why the shelters euthanize. Most of the time it's for space, and that's sad. That should never be in the equation. Should be medical or temperament. It's not. So, if you're not the one that has to make that call, you're lucky. You don't have anything's popping in your head after you do one for what you hope is the right reason. If you are the one that makes that call, I don't envy you. I'm in the same boat you are, so I completely understand. Euthanizing is not an easy choice, because the whole time we're thinking about that, we're also thinking about what can we do to fix this. Sometimes it's just not fixable, and that's medical or temperament. And you don't have a choice. You have to look out for the public. If you adopt this dog out and he's got a really bad demeanor and he's biting, you really want to take that liability of sending him to a home, knowing that? May not be an adult that can fight off a dog. Might be a kid. So we do what we got to do. It's the bad part about it. I hope nobody likes doing it. It's just something we got to do. So, just thought I'd come on and talk about it a little bit. Yes, I don't know if it was for y'all or for me. Like I said, just wasn't a good weekend. Lots of things I want to be good at. Digging holes to bury my dogs in is not one of them. So before you start criticizing somebody that just made the call to euthanize a dog, for whatever reason, know that if they're good people, it's not an easy decision for them to make. I would like to think they've thought about it, truly thought about it, and that was their last resort. So, if you're thinking that euthanasia is not a reality and you want to hide behind your pillows at night thinking that it's not true, you're sadly mistaken. I was shocked when that person left my group because I posted numbers on ones that we had euthanized. It wasn't to show the numbers of actual euthanized, it was actually showing the numbers for the year, what we brought out and what was adopted, and actually that our euthanizing numbers were going way, way, way down. First year was cut in half, second year was cut in half again. My last 6 months or so, we never euthanized a dog. So that's what it was for, but they left anyway, they got their feelings hurt. Just think about it when you think that in a fit of anger, you're going to say that you're going to euthanize the dog. Think about it. It's a pretty final suggestion. There's no coming back from that. That's it. Once it starts, it's done. It's no reversing it. You're not going to be able to get anything into them fast enough. So it is. It's final. It's absolute. Uh, and I hope for most of us, it's a very, very hard decision to make. So, again, before you start thinking about being mad at somebody because they euthanized your dog, heard a story here a couple days ago that somebody got mad at a friend of mine that because they euthanized a dog. Actually, because they held it overnight and then euthanized it. Not really sure how that goes. Most vets are closed on the weekends. I don't know anybody that's going to pay extra money on emergency call to euthanize a dog. It's a shame that the dog probably was suffering. Person did tell me that they gave them some meds to keep them as relaxed as possible till morning. So it happens. Get over yourselves. If you think it don't, happens every day, a lot more than what people actually see. So that's all I got. I just wanted to, shout that out real quick. Like I said, I don't know if it's for y'all, just so y'all have a better understanding of it, or if that was for me. So, y'all have a good night, and try and keep warm. I think it's supposed to be going to 27 here in Louisiana tonight, early morning. So, stay warm, keep your pets warm. Use heat lamps, use them right. I actually heard somebody tell me they don't use heat lamps. Use them right, they're very good. So, all right, y'all. Y'all have a good night.